I learned all these random fucking things. So anyway, that manifests itself in my sleep paralysis a lot. So when I get it, and I don't get it as much anymore, but for a few years when I was living at my parents' house, I would get it almost every night. Where I would get visited by, like, I'm gonna call them visitations just because that's what they were, like, to my experience. I would get visited by, like, different angels, and they each had different names, and they would talk in this language that I was, like, starting to learn. It sounds like guitar feedback, basically, if you're familiar. Sure.
I'm really sorry to interrupt. I hate to.
No, you're good.
But, so, it's it's the same exact two-part question for you as well. Do you believe in ghosts in any way, shape, or form? And do you do you believe in religion in any way, shape, or form? Like there's afterlife, this and that.
Not really. I don't have any, like, firm beliefs in either one. I kind of see it situationally. So if a belief in one of those things is going to, like, increase my enjoyment of life, then I'll usually go along with it. But I will never make, like, an assertive claim of the truth to either one, if that makes sense.
Yes, fifth. What do you mean by afterlife, bro?
It's a neither or it's a maybe. Because
Yeah, it's more of a maybe.
I'm going with maybe. Yeah.
It's more of a maybe. It
Is
depends.
it maybe on both?
Well, we'll get to, yeah, it's a maybe on both. I lean more towards, like, neutrality. But so I don't tell people that, like, oh, you shouldn't believe that or whatever, like, in terms of things that are not tangible like that. It's hard to.
This is just you.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a really weird. The second part of the dream thing is that I've also had prophetic dreams, and this is something that's verifiable for me. So I had a weird period of time in my life where I was dreaming really, really long dreams every night, and there was this person, and they lived in this very specific place that I would pretty much hang out with in my dreams all the time, but I hadn't met them yet in real life. So I started writing it all down, because I was trying to piece it all together, because it was, like, continuous. It wasn't, like, isolated. So I had about a month of that, where I was having these dreams that would continue from night to night. They'd feel like fucking weeks, and then I'd wake up and, like, write as much as I remembered down. So I drew this place out that they lived in. It was like a two-tiered attic-looking place with a staircase. If you walk in the door, a staircase to one side, and they had a fake burner. They had like a kitchen stove thing, but it wasn't plugged into anything, which is a really weird detail. So this person shows up in my life a few months after I had all that. And at first I was really skeptical, because I was like, I'm probably just applying these things to this person. Like there's just similarities, whatever. But the more I got to talk to them, the more they lived in New York, and I don't live in New York. So but after about 2 weeks of talking, they, like, took a bus down to see me, and we, like, kind of confirmed a lot of stuff, because they had similar prophetic dreams about me, which is, I think, really fascinating. I would have no way to, like, scientifically test this other than what I did at the time. So I drew out the room almost, like, identically, and then when I finally saw it, I took a train up to New York, and I brought it with me. I brought all the stuff with me. It was like a one-to-one comparison. They lived in a housing unit that was not zoned for residential, so they had to pretend like their room was a kitchen, so they had, like, a fake burner, which was in my dreams, like, the whole time. It was, like, a very constant part of my dreams. And I dated everything. I wrote it all down. So that's maybe not necessarily connected to the sleep paralysis, but I think that's something that's happened to me that I just to this day cannot. I can't explain that in, like, any way that would make any sense to anybody else. It's fucking, yeah. I don't, and I still, to this day, I have things like that. That's why I started writing them down all the time, because I was like, well, I'm not going to believe myself because I had that, like, a lot, but this was, like, the big one. This is, like, the big deal. That person was very important to me for a long time. That was a really crazy experience. We couldn't handle it, really. It was so unbelievable. But yeah, I don't know. I've had similar things where, like, I'll have a dream that, Nutrimook Hotel is, like, a band I like. They haven't been active for years, but I had a dream, like, a few months ago, or no, this month, that a new demo had been released or whatever, and then like 2 days later, like, well, no, there's old live shows that are resurfacing now. 2 days after I had that dream, I wrote it down, and I wrote down the cover of it and everything. And some new live shows from the 90s were released 2 days later that had new songs in them that no one had ever heard before. That's a really minor one, and you could probably chalk that up to coincidence, but to me it felt important. Anyway, so prophetic dreaming is interesting. I've also linked dreams with other people. I've like the same person that we like had prophetic dreams about each other. We were able to meet each other in dreams a few times. That's really hard though. It takes a lot of practice. Oh my God, it's hot female. Holy shit. What's up?
Definitely a female, remember?
You're the one
I remember you.
that got arrested, aren't you?
Are you still gonna
That's not peanut butter, no.
clip that you have, Virginia?
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I'm getting to. So
That's definitely peanut butter.
it's not peanut butter. I promise. So anyway, look into prophetic dreaming. Look into dream linking if that stuff interests you. Prophetic dreaming.
Oh, I thought you said pathetic.
It's that too.
Dreaming.
I cried a lot. It was horrible. Yeah, you guys don't have to obviously like take what I say at face value. I'm just presenting my experiences. It was really fascinating to me, and as someone who like scrutinizes over data and logic and whatever, it was fucking wild. Okay, so here's the audio clip. Here's the background. I'm gonna make it quick, and then I'm gonna get off. So, I was out with my friends. This was October 10th, 2016. It was about 1 a.m. We're walking around. We heard this sound once, and then I waited around to see if it would happen again to record it, and it did. So I recorded it. This is the second time it happened, and that was it. So there's a sound that we were walking around my neighborhood in the woods. Basically, my parents' neighborhood is in like a really densely wooded area. So we were on the road, but it was like surrounded by trees. So we hear like I'll play it for you, but I have to explain that. Each time you hear the sound kind of getting louder or like more intense, it's like another voice being added from a different direction. So this was not, it was not coming from one direction. It was coming from like all around us. It like surrounded us. So just like try to envision that. It's gonna be difficult because this fucking microphone sucks. But here, I'll play it for you. It's kind of fucked. So
That's real. Like you actually recorded that.
yeah. So
Like you're not bullshitting us. That was real.
yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
Play the audio.
Oh yeah, here I'll play it again.
That's gonna
We'll
be
analyze it a second time. It's actually. Yo, Jimbo, if you go to my Bandcamp, it's at the end of this only song on the Angels Can't See release. I put
Before you play it again, what did that sound
Sure.
like to you exactly, so I can get a good picture?
Sure, yeah. So we heard it from One Direction, and it kind of sounded like a. I thought it was dogs. So like, it sounds like howling to me.
In a way.
Yeah,
But it sounds a
but
lot
that's the
more
thing.
high-pitched than that.
Yeah, so coyotes, we don't really have coyotes here as far as I can tell. And also I posted it to a ton of nature boards and stuff, and like I've asked like people that it's like their job to identify animal sounds, or it's not their job, but they fucking know how to do it. And they're like, I don't fucking know. Like they'd have no idea. The closest I've come to like, but like
where
Go
do
ahead.
you live? Like state, province?
I live in North Carolina, like in the Piedmont region.
So do you live near the mountains at all?
No.
No. Okay.
Like-
I was gonna say it's that dang Bigfoot.
Security number.
That
When you play that clip again as well, like just try to
Uh-huh.
maybe like put it an extra inch away because we can hear it clearly.
Oh yeah, my bad.
I didn't
Okay,
get
here.
it first.
Yeah, I'll play it right now. Okay, I got you here.
think you
So-
just
Sound like
portal to
screams
hell.
from hell, dude.
Yeah, it was fucked. It was so loud too. It was so loud. And what's fucked up?
From the inside.
At the end of
Well, no, that's the thing. Is like, well, it was 1 a.m., so it was hard. Yeah, and I used to go on night walks all the time because I was always up late with my friends. We were usually smoking or whatever, like cigarettes, not weed, so we weren't like fucked up or whatever. But
Get the fuck out here and that shit.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'd be shitting myself, dude.
Whoever missed it from earlier, that it wasn't just one sound source either. It like surrounded us, and it happened twice. That was the second time. The first time I couldn't record it quick enough.
you said you were in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, and when I asked my parents, I was like, "Did you guys hear that shit last night?" They were like, "Nah." And I know that they're like heavy sleepers, but
How far away would you estimate that you heard it from? Like, how far away do you think it came from?
yeah, that's fucking hard because all right, so there's two roads that are parallel, and there's woods between them. So in my head, I don't know how far the two roads are apart from each other, but you can kind of see them through the trees, but it's like kind of a walk. But it sounded like it was coming from the road. So after that, we actually got in my car and we drove over to that road to see if something got hit by a fucking car. Like, you know, like we were just trying to come up with something. But there was nothing over there. And then I was like, well, it's close to Halloween, so like maybe someone is like trying out a fucking like a yard thing. You know what I mean?
That doesn't sound like
Nah.
nothing of a project.
Yeah, that's what I was like, and also the fact that it came from multiple directions too, because like
Yeah.
it came from the road, and then it came from like behind my house, because my house was visible from where I was, and then it came from like you know, it was so everywhere that I couldn't really pinpoint a specific like sound source, but it did start from the road.
Now that you say that, if it were coming from now that I'm thinking of it, yeah, like that's what I was about to say, like they're coming from every direction, so that's maybe them trying to communicate from each direction.
Yeah, I was like, it sounded, honestly, my first thought was like, it sounds like a lot of people left their dogs outside, and then one dog started howling, and then the rest kind of like started too. But what's weird is,
Maybe.
they don't really sound like dogs, first of all. Also, like, not many, like, there's not that many dogs in the neighborhood anyway. And then also, they all stopped, like, immediately on a dime at this, like, all at once. It's like, it kind of just, they all, like, ramped up to the point where it was so loud that it hurt my ears, and then it just, like stopped. And I actually have it uploaded to SoundCloud if you guys want to, like, go listen to it, like, not through my shitty microphone.
Where can we listen to it?
Yeah, I have a SoundCloud too as well, and only.
Let me see.
I used to produce music. I have some of my beats on there, man.
Yeah, I have
Mixtape. It's pretty fun.
Except instead of
Might have been God trying to communicate with you.
Link is in the bio.
Holding cats. And
If you want to find me,
No.
I'm trying to figure out what it's called real quick for you guys.
Virginia.
Hold on.
Yo, yeah, if you want
I'm
to search
figuring it out.
Virginia, look for literally my name. Search my name for a guy that's in Canada.
yeah, no one's gonna.
Literally my name. That's
Okay.
The Spotify link.
Okay, here, hold on. So, okay, I got it. So it's called Unidentified Wailing. That's WAILING. So Unidentified Wailing. And then numbers 10 period 10 period 16. That's like the date, like October 10th, 16.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's unidentified wailing, and then the number 10 followed by a period, another 10 followed by a period, and then 16, like all is one word. So it's like a date written out. Okay.
Buddy, what's up, man?
All right. Go ahead. I'm gonna take a piss real quick. I'm gonna get off and let it keep rolling, but I'm gonna be AFK for a second.
Why is this so unsettling?
Dude, it's fucked. I know. We'll talk about it in a second.
Howdy, gamers. Yeah, it's scary as shit. Hearing it made me piss my pants. All right, I'm gonna go back to it, but I'm just gonna say this really quick. I see you all slouching in your computer. Make your posture better. Don't hurt your shoulders. All right. Anyway, I think we've pretty much all come to the consensus that like a lot of external factors can indicate or can kind of manipulate our mind when it comes to this paranormal stuff, especially like stress.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Sleep paralysis, stuff like that. And so, there's with a lot of superstitions,
When
there's
are we going to talk about the extraterrestrials?
with superstitions, there's a lot of like common themes when seeing stuff. Like Virginia was talking about like the angels. There's a lot of, you see angels, you see demons. There's always that lady in the white dress type stuff.
Jesus Christ.
Out in Easton, Connecticut, there's a cemetery called Union Cemetery. It is, I think, the oldest cemetery in the state. I don't know, but it's like the fabled legend of the cemetery is that there's like a white lady, or there's a lady in the white dress, and like she's like, the dress is all dirty and stuff like that. And I feel like it's just common themes within the whole ghost hunting thing, just to get people like kind of hyped up. And then I was trying to talk about it too earlier. I hope I didn't forget it. Like with the famous murder houses that people can visit, like, oh, here in 1632, a guy killed all of his family members and stuff like that. I feel like just walking into the same house, knowing that there was just an absolute massacre, it kind of like sets your heart in state of almost like, holy shit. Like you walk in the house and it's just like, your head is just, you're in a different position to think. So you're more likely to believe something. Like if you see something, like you're like, holy shit, that's him.
Well, yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at pretty much.
Astrology runs on.
Yeah, I 100%.
Yeah, it's just, it's hard to explain. I'm very tired, but it's just hard to, it's just like, your head is in a different place that you're more likely to believe something that you see. Like I forget who was talking about it earlier, but like during rapid eye movement, like your eyes wobble and you see like the darkness before you see something. It's just stuff like that.
It can happen when you're playing music as well.
And you're
Yep.
looking at
Before.
something and you go into a haunted house, if something fucking creaks, it's gonna scare you.
Are you outside right now?
Who, me? Oh, is the TV too loud? Oh.
Oh no, sorry, his SoundCloud. Let's get to the next track.
No, I have the TV on because talking about ghosts scared the shit out of me, so I turned my TV on and put YouTube on.
What's the name of?
Yeah, but that was scary. That's why I didn't want to. I didn't want to sound mean when I said it to him, but like, that's why I asked him if there, if he lives in like the mountains, because I've heard all of those like Bigfoot calls that people record, like the people that live in the middle of literally fucking nowhere in like Appalachia, and all of a sudden they hear just wailing in the middle of the night out of their house, and it's like, holy shit, it's the Sasquatch.
Yeah, but not everybody hears it. It's a rarity.
No.
He has on his SoundCloud so much weird.
What's the name of his sound?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I gotta look it up later, but holy fuck. And
Too high pitched.
This was a really elaborate plug for his SoundCloud.
yeah, it was just for clout.
It's on the playlist called Unidentifiable Music.
Yeah, the ending of it sounds like if you've ever played the SCP games, it sounds like SCP-096, like screaming.
Oh, shout out
Well,
to
that
SCP.
settles it.
Yeah, shout out to SCP.
So I can't. It just sounds like a weird, and it's just fucking scary.
Can I ask you a question? Have you
What's up?
Have you seen the 096 short film that was released recently?
Oh, recent? No, let me look it up.
Oh, dude, if you like SCP, it's actually, dude, it's so fucking good. You have to.
What's it called?
I don't remember. Just look.
Let
up-
me see. Hold on. Let me see if this is it.
I forget how long it is. I think it's.
Is it